The you from 10 years ago is gone. They didn't die in any dramatic way. There was no fiery crash, no fading heartbeat in a hospital bed. They just handed off your name and your memories to a stranger, and that stranger kept walking. You look in the mirror every morning and assume a continuous line, a single unbroken thread from childhood to right now. You are wrong. You are not one continuous person growing older. You are a relay race of strangers, a series of selves quietly swapped out in the dark, each you ending so the next one can start. You have already survived your own ending several times. You just never noticed the funerals. Psychologists have a name for this blindness. They call it the end of history illusion. In 2013, a massive psychological study asked thousands of people a simple question: how much have you changed in the last 10 years? Almost everyone admitted they had changed drastically. Different tastes, different values, different friends. They recognized that their past self was practically a foreigner. Then came the second question: how much will you change in the next 10 years? The answer was almost always identical: not much. We all believe the person we are right now is the finished product, the final draft, the software update that finally patched all the bugs. It is a comforting lie. You are not the final draft. You are just the current shift worker, holding down the fort until the next version of you arrives to take the keys. Think about the things you cared about 5 years ago, the arguments that kept you awake at 2 a.m., the goals you swore you would bleed for, the people you thought you couldn't breathe without. To the person you are today, those feel like someone else's problems, because they are. That version of you expired. They packed their bags and left, leaving you with their consequences, leaving you with their debts, and leaving you with their memories. This is why nostalgia physically aches. It is not a longing for a place. It is a longing for a person you can no longer be. You revisit your old hometown. You walk the exact same streets. You sit in the exact same diner. But the magic is gone. The geometry of the room is the same, but the atmosphere is dead. You blame the town. You tell yourself the town has changed. The town didn't change. The eyes looking at it did. The person who loved that diner no longer exists. We call this the phantom limb of memory. When an amputee loses an arm, the brain still sends signals to it. It expects the arm to be there. When the signal meets empty air, the brain translates that confusion into pain. Your identity works the exact same way. You try to flex a muscle that belongs to a dead version of you. You try to laugh at an inside joke with an old friend, and it falls flat. The connection is severed. The person they knew is buried under layers of time, stress, and new routines. You are wearing their face, but you are not them, and both of you know it. It makes those reunions profoundly uncomfortable. You sit across the table from someone you used to love, trying to reanimate a corpse, speaking a language you both forgot how to pronounce. You aren't grieving the friendship. You are grieving the version of you that existed inside it, and yet you refuse to let them go. Look around your room right now. It is a museum of dead people. That acoustic guitar in the corner gathering dust? It belongs to a you who thought they would be a musician. Those thick books on the shelf you never finished? Purchased by a you who wanted to be an intellectual. The clothes in the back of your closet that don't fit your body or your style. The half-finished projects on your hard drive. The downloaded apps you never open. This is the wardrobe of ghosts. You live in a haunted house. Every room is occupied by the phantoms of who you used to be, and the shadows of who you swore you would become. You keep their artifacts around out of guilt, as if throwing away the guitar means murdering the musician. But the musician is already dead. They died the day you chose a steady paycheck over the garage band. They died the day you stopped playing for the sheer joy of it. That isn't a failure. It is just a shift in the tectonic plates of your identity. But you refuse to hold a funeral, so you step over their ghosts every single morning. You carry the weight of a dozen different lives on your shoulders. No wonder you are so tired. You are trying to keep all these dead people alive. You are trying to honor contracts signed by absolute strangers, agreements made by a 20-year-old who knew nothing about how the world actually works. Why are you letting a 20-year-old dictate the rest of your life? You wouldn't let a random stranger from 10 years ago choose your career, or your partner, or your city. Yet that is exactly what you are doing. Every time you hold on to a goal you no longer care about, every time you maintain a relationship that drains your blood, you are letting a ghost steer the ship. But here is the terrifying part. The part you really don't want to look at. The you sitting there right now. The one watching this screen, convinced they finally have it figured out. You are going to die too. Not physically, but psychologically. In 5 years, your current self will be just another ghost in the wardrobe, just another set of outdated beliefs, just another stranger. Your current fears will seem completely ridiculous. Your current obsessions will fade into white noise. You are temporary, and that is the greatest news you could ever receive. Imagine the absolute horror of actually being the same person forever. Imagine being trapped in your high school mindset for 80 years. Imagine never escaping your worst heartbreak. Imagine the claustrophobia of permanence. You are designed to shed your skin. You are meant to outgrow your own container. The death of your current self is not a tragedy. It is a survival mechanism. It is the only way you survive the crushing weight of time, so stop clinging to the ghosts. Look at the artifacts in your room. Look at the old photos on your phone. Forgive the naive kid who made all those mistakes. They didn't know what you know now. They were just doing their job. Gathering the data, taking the hits, building the bridge so that you could walk across it. They died so you could be here. Give them permission to stay dead. Pack up the guitar. Donate the clothes. Clear out the haunted house. Make room for the next stranger. They are already on their way. They are walking toward you right now, with new eyes and new desires and a completely different name. Step aside. Let them in.
Probably.